If you've had your windshield replaced on your Jeep, Chrysler, or Ram and now your rain-sensing wipers aren't working properly, this video is for you. There's an important manufacturer communication that every owner should know about, and it could save you hundreds of dollars. Let's talk about NHTSA ID 102444347, manufacturer communication number 9004542, issued on September 15, 2023. This communication specifically addresses rain sensor issues during windshield replacement, and it affects the visibility component of your vehicle. Alright, let's get into the technical details. Before we talk part numbers, it's crucial to understand how this little gadget works. Your rain sensor uses an infrared light beam projected onto the windshield. When the glass is dry, most of this light reflects back to a detector, but when raindrops hit the glass, they change how the light refracts and less of it returns. The sensor detects this change and tells your wipers to activate. The problem, especially after a windshield replacement, almost always comes down to the small clear gel pad that sits between the sensor and the glass. This pad creates a perfect optical bridge. If it has air bubbles, is damaged, or is missing, the sensor gets confused, leading to those service wiper system warnings. So, the big question is, can you replace just the pad, or do you need a whole new sensor? It all depends on the part number. First, let's cover the scenario that frankly nobody wants. If you check your sensor and find part number 685073666, 68483780, 68384226, or 68384225, you have the integrated unit. On these models, the gel pad is bonded to the sensor at the factory. We've seen a lot of chatter on forums about this, with people asking if they can just scrape off the old gel and apply a new one. The short answer is no. Trying to do so will almost certainly damage the delicate optical surface of the sensor itself. This means if your pad is compromised, the entire sensor assembly has to be replaced. It's a more expensive repair, but it's the only guaranteed way to solve the problem for these specific models. Now for the good news. If your sensor has part number 682983334, 6829848, 686074452, or 6819470, you can breathe a sigh of relief. These are the models with a fully replaceable gel pad. This is the fix everyone on Reddit and the enthusiast forums hopes for, as it's a simple, cost-effective DIY job. You can order just the gel pad itself through Mopar and swap it out in a matter of minutes, completely avoiding the cost of a new sensor. When you go to order, the Mopar gel pad kits you'll likely need are part numbers 682249445AA and 68488349AA. A common question we see online is whether you can use a generic pad. While some have tried, results are very mixed. The Mopar pads are specifically formulated for the right clarity and adhesion. For a guaranteed one-time fix, we recommend sticking with the OEM part. One final crucial tip: before you call the parts counter, have your vehicle's VIN handy. This allows the dealer to pinpoint the exact part for your specific model and year, eliminating any guesswork. Now let's be crystal clear about something right up front. This is not a recall. A recall is a mandatory action for a safety defect. This, however, is a manufacturer communication, specifically a technical service bulletin, or TSB. Think of a TSB as a memo from the engineers to the dealership technicians. It provides official guidance on how to diagnose and fix a known, non-safety related issue that customers might complain about. It's listed as a manufacturer communication on the NHTSA site, which is a public database for TSBs and other dealer communications, ensuring transparency for everyone. The bulletin instructs dealers to first identify the specific rain sensor variant by its part number, because not all sensors are created equal. Some earlier models came with a sensor where the gel pad was permanently integrated. If that pad failed, you had to replace the entire, more expensive sensor unit. Later versions, however, use a separate replaceable gel pad. So if a technician confirms it's the replaceable pad version, the official fix is to simply swap in a fresh Mopar gel pad during any windshield service. But the official service bulletin is only half the story. To get the full picture, we dove into the real world of owner experiences, combing through countless forum posts and Reddit discussions. And what we found is that the problem is far more common and nuanced than a single bulletin might suggest. By far, the number one cause of rain sensor failure, according to the community, is an issue with the gel pad following a windshield replacement. The sensor works by shooting a beam of infrared light at the glass. The gel pad creates a perfect optical bridge for this light. When the glass is dry, the light reflects back predictably. When a raindrop hits, it changes the angle of reflection, and the sensor tells the wipers to activate. But many glass shops, especially non-dealerships, either forget the pad entirely, use the wrong one, or try to reuse the old, degraded one. This introduces air bubbles, dust, or an improper thickness, which scatters the infrared light and completely confuses the sensor. This leads to the classic symptoms owners report: wipers going full speed on a sunny day, often called ghost wiping, or conversely, refusing to turn on in a downpour. The only fix is to get the pad redone correctly, so what can you do? Based on community wisdom, here's a troubleshooting checklist. First, a visual inspection. The pad should be perfectly clear with no bubbles, haze, or dirt trapped underneath. Second, check the basics. Is the sensor's electrical plug fully seated and secure? It can sometimes get knocked loose during service. Third, check the fuse for the rain sensor circuit. It's a simple step that's easy to overlook. And fourth, a big one from the forums: avoid using Rain-X or other hydrophobic coatings directly over the sensor area. These products are designed to make water bead up, but the size and shape of those beads can be different from what the sensor is calibrated to detect, leading to poor performance. A clean, untreated patch of glass over the sensor is best. Finally, let's talk about recalibration. This is absolutely critical. The rain sensor is often housed in the same module as the forward-facing camera for your advanced driver assistance systems, or ADAS. This camera powers features like lane departure warning, automatic emergency braking, and adaptive cruise control. When a windshield is replaced, the camera's position can shift ever so slightly. This tiny change can be enough to make these life-saving safety systems inaccurate. Recalibration uses specialized targets to realign the camera's view with the car's computer. If your vehicle has any ADAS features, insist that the glass shop performs a static and/or dynamic recalibration. Skipping this step isn't just an annoyance, it's a serious safety risk. So, let's recap the crucial takeaway. Keep NHTSA ID 10244347 and manufacturer communication 9004542 handy. While this isn't a formal recall, it's official dealer guidance acknowledging the problem and outlining the correct fix. Having this information empowers you when dealing with a service center. It can be the key to avoiding an unnecessary and expensive full sensor replacement, potentially saving you hundreds of dollars when only the gel pad needs attention. The problem almost always comes down to that small gel pad. Your sensor uses an infrared beam that reflects off the windshield. Raindrops alter this reflection and trigger the wipers. The gel pad creates the perfect optical bridge between the sensor and the glass. A quick search on forums or Reddit shows countless owners reporting issues after a windshield replacement, wipers activating on sunny days or not working in the rain. This is often because the installer reused the old pad, used the wrong gel, or trapped air bubbles, disrupting the sensor's reading. If this video helped you understand your rain sensor issues, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content that empowers car owners with technical knowledge. We especially want to build a knowledge base in the comments. Have you experienced this problem? Did you have to show the service bulletin to your repair shop? Share your story below. Your experience could be the exact piece of advice another owner needs to hear to solve their problem and avoid a costly, frustrating repair.